Alright folks, Rick Rubin here, and today we've got a classic, and I'm so happy that these beers are becoming regularly, for now, available again here in the UK, because they were one of the American craft breweries that really got me into, big, bold craft beer. And today we're going over to Stone, and this is a can of the Ruination IPA, double IPA, clocking in at 8.2% ABV, a liquid poem to the glory of the hop. Throughout our history, we've built a fairly deserved reputation for being obsessed with massively hoppy IPAs. And the groundbreaking creation you have before you is largely responsible for that legacy. Did you know that Stone Ruination IPA was the first... Hang on a minute. Bear with me 1 second, because I can't see for shit right now. And that's not made it any better at all. Because I'd like to read what it says on here. Was the first IPA brewed and bottled West Coast Double IPA on the planet. True story. As the technology and techniques for maximising hoppy goodness evolved over the years, so did this beer. Yet we still look back fondly on the impression of it left on the palates of many. In a tribute to its roasts, we're bringing back for a limited time in an original old school form the quintessential representation of a West Coast Double IPA. Now, I've had this a couple of times over the years. I didn't fully take advantage of it. Although, didn't they do Ruin 10, which was like a triple IPA version? I remember having that in Brewdog. It might have just been Ruination, I don't remember. But back then, I was still, somewhat relatively new to that, so having that was just an absolute smash around the face. So I picked this up from Beermoth whilst I was in Manchester. I did not too long ago pick up another couple of Stone beers, but I ended up drinking them and sharing them with a couple of friends at Bickerstock, which who needs Glastonbury when you've got Bickerstock? And one of them was the Double Bastard, which was fucking amazing. And then a black IPA, which was fucking amazing. And it was just like, we go on about like yearning for a good representation of a West Coast IPA from back in the day, and just how modern breweries aren't really cutting it. So I'm very, very happy to be trying this. I know just the normal Stone IPA is available as well. I think even it's being stocked in Asda. I think if that's the original or imported American Stone IPA, then yeah, what a time to be alive. I mean, you can get Neon Raptor in some supermarkets now, Polly's. But yeah, it's just fantastic, and I'm probably already overhyping this. Building it up, and it's probably going to be an amazing beer, but it's still not going to hit those notes. But as someone who's yearning for like a proper palate wrecking, abrasive, well, they weren't always, were they? West Coast IPA, then I'm very, very excited to try this. So yeah, lovely stuff indeed. Classic look. And yeah, I'm sure over the years, as it states on the label, it has changed and adapted. Is it, what it used to be? I don't know, but we shall see. I wasn't even too upset about, the Stone Berlin stuff that we were getting. Gutted I didn't manage to get to go while it was still Stone Berlin before Brewdog just completely destroyed any sort of character and personality that beautiful building had. Although I could still imagine going there. Is going to be a great drinking experience. But yeah, I mean, Arrogant Bastard Ale, when I was living in Germany, a lot of the Stone stuff was appearing in the supermarkets then. And it was just good times, man. You know what I mean? It's like, what, Stone are like one of the, big, quintessential pioneering breweries, up there with the likes of Sierra Nevada for me. Ballast Point, who remembers that? I mean, grapefruit sculpin. Oh, what an amazing beer. Great Divide. That's a brewery that, quite possibly one of the best imperial stouts I've ever had in my life, and for some reason we don't get Great Divide here anymore. If anybody's got any good leads on where I can buy bottles of Yeti or any variant of Yeti from Great Divide here in the UK, then please do let me know. But Northern Beer Temple, last time I checked, which was a few months ago, I should be supporting that store a lot more than I am, admittedly, had like a 2016 bottle of Russian Imperial Stout from Stone, which I've always said, oh, I'll pick that up. Never got around to picking it up. The big, proper, old-school bomber bottles of, imported American beer. Now it's all, canned for freshness, but there's something like really sort of like, what's the word? There's a sense of theatre to a big bottle of American Imperial Stout. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. Beer in the glass then, and yeah, look at that beautiful amber colour. It's got a little bit of chill haze on it. Looks a bit darker on camera. Obviously, I've got the light coming through this way, so it's got a little bit more of a golden hue to it. Just a very thin, half a finger's worth of head. It's looking the part, isn't it? So let's see what we get on the nose. Oh yeah, musky marmalade. Resin, pine. Like sticky, fruity tar. It's like sort of like quite a reserved aroma, but it's still a very satisfying aroma when you're picking up those flavours. You can tell that it's going to come out more on the taste as opposed to the nose. But yeah, sticky, it's like toffee notes to it. Oh man, that just smells so good. It really, really does. I've not been like excited for a beer for a long time. And I'm drinking this a few days before, I'm going to be meeting with friends, sharing an Airbnb and going to the Rivington Beer Festival and drinking around Preston. That's what it's all about for me. I know the channel's been fucked for like the last sort of like year or so. But, I still love craft beer. I love, it's not necessarily the reviews, because I appreciate everyone who watches. Of course I do. And everyone who takes the time not just to watch, but also to like leave a comment and suggestions, to rip the shit out of me, which I always enjoy. But it's the friends who I've met. They're not just friends to me. I consider them family. Except Harry, he's a cunt. Only joking. I'm not going to tell you what he's going to try and do to me over the weekend, but I'm not going to fight it. Anyway. Oh man, it smells so good. It smells really, really good. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, everyone. Oh, yes. Yes, that to me is what West Coast should be like. Instant attack on the palate. It's not just like a burst of flavour. It's like a big... Annihilation's too big of a word, but I'm going to use it anyway. That really strong, piney bitterness right up front. Oh yeah, why can't we make beers like this? Why can't we do West Coasts like this all the time? Big burnt orange sort of flavour. You're feeling the ABV, which is, you know, become very, very rare with higher ABV IPAs, especially of the hazy New England variety, which always seems like I'm having a go at them. They're the most common style that I buy, aside from like lagers. So I just like a nice fruity IPA, but every now and then you've just got to go back to beers like this. And I don't know where like Stones sit now with people's opinions and like where they stand in terms of ownership and things like that. I mean, you know, is it Greg Koch from Stone said he wouldn't be doing the seltzers, but he ended up doing the seltzers, which I do like a good hard seltzer. As someone who likes fizzy water with fruit in it, you know, a hard seltzer, you know. God, I look like a priest. What priest looks like this? Fucking Bear Adams. Oh, what's that? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am properly... It's like a proper dome now, isn't it? There's no text. The only thing about me and my long hair is there's no texture to it. It's thin. It doesn't hold its shape when you put product in it. And... but you know what I mean? It's like I'm like a fat John Lennon, fat blonde John Lennon. Why don't they put me in that film that they're making? Because that's what we need, a Beatles biopic. There's a sticky oiliness to it. It's got that slight abrasiveness. Big, bold, chewy citrus flavours. It's dankness there. It's resiny. Oh, it's just... I'm so glad that I opened this and drank it. I know we've come close and I've said that the best way to like approach and to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of have that essence of West Coast is usually from like a really strong red IPA, that sort of thing. But it's still achievable to make what a West Coast IPA should be. And this is it. Like, UK craft breweries, copy the recipe. You know, just copy the recipe. Do it. We don't want toned down West Coast. We want big, abrasive, in your face West Coast. And abrasive's probably too aggressive a word, because if something's too aggressive, it's unpleasant. This, to me, it's got a starkness to it. It's got character. It's bold. It's in your face. And it's got those almost harsh characters to it. The bitterness is bang on. Beautiful body as well. Oh, it's a classic. It's an absolute classic. There's nothing about this beer that I would change. Is it a shadow of its former self? It may well be, because things change over time. But if you're looking for like a proper old school how it should be West Coast IPA, I can't sing this beer's merits enough. I'm probably going way over the top, way overboard. But if I could get West Coast IPAs like this all the time here in the UK without having to import it and pay that higher value, although I don't really think it was that expensive, really. I'm sure I've paid more for lesser West Coast IPAs brewed in the UK. So I'm very happy with this purchase because it's tapping into what I personally remember and romanticize about West Coast IPAs. And people probably look at this, he's just said Ruination's like a great example of a West Coast IPA. I don't fucking care, right? I don't fucking care. If I cared, do you think I'd be looking like this right now? But yeah, it's got like sort of like perfumey sort of like aftershave thing going on. almost like leather and, you know, varnished wood. Like proper backwoods, small town, American, like survival shop in a glass. That might not make any sense at all, but if it does make sense, then, you know, we're on the same team. Oh man, I just love the aftertaste on this. That's like, it's not boozy, there's no burn, but you feel it, you feel there's a bit more like tenacity to it. Definitely one. I mean, I'm doing a very good job of drinking this really quickly, but you could just sip and savour it. Oh man, I get stupidly excited when Sierra Nevada Celebration IPA gets released, because that to me is like one of my all-time favourite American beers. Sierra Nevada, one of my favourite breweries. This, to me, if we can get this regularly here in the UK, then it's gonna excite me just as much as Sierra Nevada Celebration IPA. This to me is as close to perfection for a West Coast, in my opinion, and it's taken me back. It's taken me back to those flavours of because these were big, you know, really in-your-face popular beers when I was really getting into craft beer. Trying stuff on guest lists, or, oh, that's an interesting sound of beer, when I'd be out in like a little bar or an eatery in Manchester, primarily Manchester. It's always Manchester. And it's taken me back. And it's taken my drink there going, oh man, hardcore IPA. Tesco's Finest, which was just like pretty much a rebadge of hardcore IPA from BrewDog. Again, what a classic beer that was. Oh, I fucking love this. This is terrific. It's absolutely wonderful. As close as perfection as you can get. And it's just sorely missed, beers like this. And we try our best to brew them to taste like this, but we just seem to miss the mark, don't we? Really. And it's a real shame, because this is terrific. It's absolutely terrific. And I knew I was going to really enjoy it while I was in the shop. Why the fuck did I not buy 2 cans of this? Because this is what I want. This is a beer for me. What I want with West Coast IPAs. Maybe we have to do them double IPAs to get that power. It's like even like slight bitter caramel notes to it. So complex. So many subtle nuances. It's just an amazing beer. It really is. And you can always depend on American breweries for the West Coast IPAs. And long may that probably continue, to be honest. Yeah, there's no words. I think this is awesome. Am I overplaying it? Probably. But I've been yearning for these flavours. I've been yearning for these characteristics. And Stone you know, that they've delivered as they have done ever since they started brewing this. Chef's kiss to the nth degree. Wonderful stuff. I implore you to go check out your online retailers. It might be on Trebling Madness. Check out your local bottle shops. Wherever you have to pick up a can of this. Don't pick up just one, pick up 2 or 3. Yeah, to me that's like in the upper echelons of, you know, great classic American craft beers. And I was excited for it when I saw it. I was excited just before I opened it. And if you could only see my trousers right now, then I don't get sexually aroused over beer, don't worry. unless it's being poured over me by a big busty goth girl. But hey ho, that's never going to happen, is it really? Anyway, so yeah, cheers for watching. If you've tried this, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. And if you know of any good, like, British brewed West Coast IPAs that can reach this sort of level, please let me know. Although I've got basically a very good beer encyclopedia in the form of my, you know, beer related social group, who I will be shouting the praises of this beer in our group chat. Yeah, that's a bit of me, that. And if I was to give it a score like I used to do, it's a 10 out of 10. It really, really is. And take that as you will. I mean, I have been tucking me socks into me, you know, me really quite, you know, leg hugging jogging bottoms into my socks today. I'm just mentally broken. So yeah, if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Links in the description. Thank you so much for watching this. I think there may be a Stone Berlin Ruination review on the channel. And I don't remember that beer being anywhere near as good as this. Lovely stuff. Fantastic. Anyway, cheers for watching. You all take care, stay safe, and 20 minutes. He's back.